Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com, and I'm here with Esther and also with Ariel, who is behind the fantastic music of A Small Light, a brand new series that's out now on Hulu and on Disney Plus around the world. So I'm going to start off with, first off, if you could each maybe just give us an introduction to yourselves and what you've been most well known for. I'll start with you, Ariel.
I'm a composer for film and media, and you've probably seen my work on Shiva Baby or Candy, and most recently a friend of the family.
That's cool. And Candy's a great show as well, because that one's on Disney Plus here in the UK. And Este, what about for you?
My name's Este Haim. People probably know me best as one of the sisters in the band Haim. I play bass in Haim, and I am also a composer. I composed the music for Cha Cha Real Smooth, Made, and most recently a movie coming out called You're So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah.
So we've got a brand new soundtrack and also a score for this one. They're both coming out on digital platforms. But what specifically were your roles in creating the music for A Small Light? We'll start again with you, Ariel.
I wrote the underscore for the show, so everything that's embedded in the episode, the instrumental music.
Oh, cool. And you, Este?
So I basically produced all of the covers of the songs that were basically being played over the credits show. So I got to curate a fun little dinner party. I garnered a crew of people to do these covers, which was really fun.
That's cool. And with the series, how did you kind of come up with the overall feel of it? Did you try to do a lot of research into like the music from the 30s and the 40s? How did you go about doing this?
I grew up listening to the music of the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s with my Bubby Blanche. So I had a pretty good grasp on music of that era. I was also really into, when I first started playing jazz, when I first started playing bass, jazz was kind of my main focus. I was really into Thelonious Monk and Charlie Parker and Miles Davis. And so when I was asked if I wanted to do this, I jumped at the chance. I already had kind of a pretty good knowledge of music of that era, but it was really, really fun to then go back in and really get into the nitty gritty and the minutia of the music of that era.
Cool. And to you, Ariel?
So with this, the score, I mean, definitely there was some research in terms of what would have been in the like or early 30s and early 40s of what that music would have sounded like, the popular music of the time, like Benny Goodman and all of the swing, and then how that was reduced during the wartime, so there was less big bands and more small ensembles. But that, I would say, was a little bit less of an influence on the score, because there was also an effort to modernize it and kind of make it more timeless too. So it's also drawing on neoclassicism and sometimes more experimental electronic work. So it's a big spectrum, but definitely the more acoustic stuff and the improvisation it is definitely influenced by the music of the time.
Okay, and obviously that must have been a big issue there, but what was like the biggest challenge for you to working on the music for this show? We'll start with you, Este.
I'm going to be honest, Raj, not a lot of challenges here. Not a lot of challenges. I'm really lucky that everyone that I asked to be on this soundtrack said yes. And honestly, that was the biggest challenge that I thought I was going to come up against, was getting the right people to do the soundtrack. And I was lucky enough that everyone kind of jumped at the chance as well. And I think that has a lot to do with not only the story of Miep and Anne Frank, but also I think just the material itself. I think people were just like, I want to delve into an Ink Spot song. I'd love to like cover, an Edith Piaf song. So I was very lucky that was kind of my journey in this project.
That's cool. And so,
The artists, it's incredible how many people you got. I'm impressed. It's and your production is fantastic.
Thank you so much. I was very lucky. Very lucky.
That's cool. And Ariel, the same question. What did you find to be the biggest challenge working on the score for the series?
I would agree with Este that, basically everyone involved in the show just knew how special it was and how important it was. And so there was everyone cared so much. The editors, the mixers, everyone just really put in everything that they could. I would say if there were a challenge, there was in episode 7, there's a big sequence where the annex is finally stormed, and it's all about kind of navigating a very internal panic with Miep, with very external large consequences. The show is very tasteful in terms of not showing the parts of the story you think you will see, and so kind of making those unexpected choices with music too. That was a really obviously exciting but very challenging sequence.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that scene came on, and you know it's coming. You know it's coming the entire series, but it's still just very hard hitting when that one finally there, and you're not really expecting it. But with this series, on the flip side of that, what was your highlight working on this series? And we'll put that to you, Este.
Highlight was, becoming friendly and friends with everyone that I worked on. Again, I went into this wanting to kind of curate, like, if I could have like my ideal dinner party, I have carte blanche on who the guests are. Who would it be? And that literally is the playlist of this show. So I think, and also, I got to work with my sister where I was in the driver's seat and I got to be the producer. That was very cool and very fun. But I think being in the studio with Kamasi Washington, I think was the highlight for me. We went to the studio in LA called Valentine, and it's this almost like a time capsule. All the board and all the gear and the walls are fuzzy. Like it basically closed in 1964 or 5 and then reopened not but 5 years ago. So that was an incredible experience to, record an 8-piece band. And also to do like a Charlie Parker song was just so much fun. Yeah, and they're all just so talented. It was insane.
That's fantastic. And same question to you, Ariel.
Highlights. I mean, it's really hard to choose one, but I will say I really want to highlight my clarinetist, Josh Plotner. I've worked with him on so many different projects, but he completely embraced this. He's playing bass clarinet and clarinet throughout the score, and he always gave me options in terms of kind of how expressive or how bold, and he really his playfulness, his improvisation, like when they're jumping into the canal was one of my favorite pieces to write because of his performance. So that was a real joy.
That's cool. And one of the great things about Small Light is that this series Disney are fully supporting, because they have released it across all the different platforms, Disney Plus, Hulu, all the different linear networks. How did that make you feel, knowing that your sort of music's going to get and the show's going to be seen by a much larger audience? So we'll start off with you, Este.
One word: stoked. Very excited. I think when they came to me and were like, there's a show for Disney Plus, I honestly was like jazzed, for lack of a better word. I grew up, watching Disney movies and being obsessed with the music from Disney movies, and it's a really fun family to be a part of. I'll just say that.
That's cool. And to you, Ariel?
I like the whole mission of the show is to get it into as many living rooms as you can, right? And I think they did that, and it's especially in the way that it's written and the way that it's directed, and just the sensibilities of it are really accessible in a way that I think is so valuable with the lesson that, the story that we're trying to tell. So it was very, very exciting. And like the awards campaign for it and the push for the premiere has been really impressive, and you just all of the care and excitement of the studios behind it, you really feel it.
I know, Ariel, let's go. Let's go, Ariel. You and let's go.
And obviously, Ariel, as well, you've worked on a number of other projects for Disney, including Candy, which is a Hulu and a Star original, and American Horror Stories. Is there any other Disney franchises that you'd like to take a stab at?
Oh my God. Yes. I am unprepared for that question. I'd love to work with you again, Disney.
Yeah, same. I'm right here. Call me. Call me. Get me on the horn.
That's cool. And our sort of final question, and again related to Disney Plus, what has been your favorite Disney Plus original so far? But we're going to disallow a small light for that one. We'll start with you, Este.
Ooh, what does WandaVision count?
Yeah, WandaVision's perfect. Yeah,
I love WandaVision. I'm obsessed with Lizzie Olsen. I just love the show, and I babysit these 3 kids, and it's their favorite show. So I've watched WandaVision from top to bottom, front to back, and I love it.
That's cool. And to you, Ariel?
I would say probably Andor and The Dropout.
Oh, The Dropout. That was a fantastic series. I love that one.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good. That was so good. Well, again, thank you so much for taking your time out to speak to me today. Small Light is available to stream right now on Disney Plus and on Hulu. The original score is coming out on May the 19th, and the soundtrack is coming out on May the 23rd on digital platforms. So again, thank you so much for taking your time out to speak to me today. Thank you.
For having us,
Rod. Thanks, Esty. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Oh, she's gone. Oh,